Alright guys, welcome to your 14th iPhone development tutorial, and in this tutorial we're going to be finishing up this segment and control switches, whatever you name this program that we're building. I named my project Bacon Tooth, by the way. So let's go ahead and open up Interface Builder. Make sure you got everything built right. You don't have any errors in your code first, because that would not be good. So the first thing that we want to add is a segment and control, and the symbol for this is this little 1-2 button. So go ahead and grab it and drag yours over on the screen and put it anywhere you want. Now, these first and second, those titles are, they're pretty good, but I'm still tempted to go ahead and change this one to switches and change this one to button. That's a tidbit better, make it more easier on our users. So now once you're done with that, go ahead and select the segment control as a whole, and we want to add the action to it that we built for it. So go ahead and make sure your control connections is popped up, or your connections inspector, whatever you name it. And where it says value change, that little circle, go ahead and drag this all the way over to files owner. And the method we built for this segment of control is the main control switched. So then whenever we click this in any way, that method called main control switch is going to be called, and it pretty much controls what to hide and what to show on your program. So after this, of course, we need two switches. So here are your switches right here. Go ahead and add one right there, and go ahead and add another one right there. They look pretty good right there. So now, what do we need to do? Well, we need to go ahead and add those outlets to the switches. So go ahead and select File Owner, Control, Drag, and this one is the left switch, of course. Actually, it really doesn't matter. And Control, Drag, this one is the right switch. Pretty cool. Alright, so we got that done. But now what we want to do before we add anything else to the screen, since the button is going to be covering this up and we might have trouble accessing it later, go ahead and select this, and in your connections inspector, what we want to hit is value changed. Make sure this is selected. Alright, what we want to go is value changed, drag over files owner, and the method we have this is switched changed. So we did that for left switch. Now select your right switch, connections inspector, switch over value change. So anytime you switch either of them switches, the method called switch change is going to be called. And remember, all this switch change method is if you hit this one, it changes this one too. If you hit this one, it changes this one too. Pretty cool, huh? So now these switches are good to go. We added the outlets, we added the action method. So now all we have to do is add that big old button to the screen. So go ahead, and here is your symbol for a round rectangle button. Go ahead and you can add this right over your switches. Pretty sweet, huh? So since either one of these, either the button or the switches, is going to be hidden at a time, then that's why you're allowed to add things on top of each other. And that's kind of the beauty of segmented controls. You can add objects on top of each other if you have limited screen space. And, well, I mean, it's pretty obvious. Save space by having a segmented control button. So now, what is the first thing we want to do? Well, let's go ahead and add a title to this. Be like, I am a button. Pretty sweet title. So now what we want to do is make this button hidden by default. I mean, we have code later on once we start clicking buttons to either hide or show it, but by default, as soon as your program starts up, we want this button to be hidden. So go ahead and select your button, and in your attributes inspector, go ahead and under your drawing menu, I guess it's called, there is an attribute called hidden. Make sure this is checked, and now your button is going to appear below your switches. So that's how you know that it's hidden. So now, what do we need to do from here? Well, remember, we have an outlet to control this button. So go ahead and in your files owner, control drag to your button, and make sure it's not over a switch. Make sure it's over that round rectangle button. Go ahead and attach the button outlet to it. So now, are we done? No. One more teeny thing. In your connections inspector, make sure you have your button selected. Did I select that before? Let me see it. Yep. Alright, now that you have your button selected, what you need to do is whenever you tap this button, we want to call that method called, what was that method? Button pressed, I think. So go ahead and touch up inside, drag it over to file owner, and yep, it's called button pressed. So now whenever we press this button, it's going to call that method button pressed. And remember, we didn't write any code for this. We're going to be doing this in the next couple tutorials, but that is pretty much how you connect, your action to the button. You knew this before. So now, everything should be good to go. So go ahead, file, save, and in your Xcode, build and run, and let's see what's going on. Let's see if our segmented control works first. Switches, button, alright, this works. Now let's see if our switch change method works. On, off, sweet. Let's see if this one. Awesome, awesome. And hopefully whenever we click our button, nothing happens. Awesome, amazing. So here's what's going on. This segmented control button, what action is handling this? Well, it actually is this method right here, main control switch. Whenever you click this, the index is going to be set to 0. So that is why the switches show and everything else is hidden. And when you click button, as you can see, button hidden, it's no longer hidden, but the switches, left and right, they're both hidden, so yes. So then you say, alright, well, when you click these switches right here, click my iPhone simulator, and really, my computer just froze for like half a second. Alright, now I'm lagging or something. There we go. So whenever we click these switches, what methods control these? It's the switches change methods right here, and what it does is it get whatever switch you clicked, it sets it equal to my switch. It says, did you click it on or off? If you clicked it on, I'm going to turn both of them on. If you clicked it off, I'm going to turn both of them off. And that's how this works. So that's the basics of this program. In the next tutorials, we're going to be enhancing this program anymore and actually adding some functionality to this button press method. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. If you have any questions, just ask me on my forum, and I will definitely answer it for you guys. And also, I think I'm going to call that girl from the grocery store, and yeah, I'll tell you guys how that goes too. So anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.